Bend the knee. Valor Mogulis, everybody. This is Don Willie back again with another edition of Ice on Fire Opinions. And as you can see today, I'm going to be talking to you about fan favorite, the illegitimate son of Robert Baratheon. And even though he might not have the name, he seems to have a lot of the build and maybe even just a smidge of the personality of his royal father. That is the man who is simply known as Gendry. And, of course, shout out to everybody in the chat room. What's going on? We got DJ, we have Alicia Kingston, we have Way Off Topic Radio, of course, Ricky Hunt, and Paul McQuay. What's going on, everybody? And as you can see, you already know how to do with the hats there, that nice little Wolverine with actually an adamantium. It's supposed to be adamantium on the inside there. It's funny, if it seems like I'm always adjusting the hat and it kind of comes off wrong, this is kind of mirrored backwards, so I see it in reverse, you guys see it correctly, but yeah. And shout out to Sir LT Giles, who just entered. So, yeah, let's get right into it. So this one was actually a request by a new subscriber, someone who had just discovered my channel literally last week after I did the last one. And you know what? Because I do like giving credit where credit is due. Let me make sure to get this young lady's name. And that is Ninke Buma. I hope I said your name correctly, because I am absolutely horrible at getting names correct sometimes. But, okay, so, we have Gendry, who is a non-recognized bastard of Robert Baratheon. Oh, and shout out to Sir Stefan. And he is a character that we meet in A Game of Thrones and also season 1 of the television show Game of Thrones, when Ned Stark is investigating the death of his mentor and good friend, Jon Arryn. And he stumbles across Gendry, who is working at the blacksmith shop along the Street of Steel, and he immediately recognizes, like, oh, okay, this is one of Robert Baratheon's sons, and the kid has no idea. And so, when there is a purge after the death of Robert Baratheon and also after the death of Ned Stark, there is a purge of all of Robert Baratheon's illegitimate children who remain inside of King's Landing. And apparently he had a lot, and they were known enough that, when the Gold Cloaks went to look for him, they were, I guess they were easy enough to find. I mean, it seemed almost as simple as, if Robert Baratheon had been to that brothel, or anywhere even near, and there was a child with black hair and blue eyes, has got to die. And so, as far as we know, the only one to make it out of that slaughter was Gendry, because there's a bunch of bastards that he has that don't have names. We only know like as far as named children, we've got Gendry, we've got Edric Storm, and we've got Maya Stone. There might be, oh, and then there was the baby girl Bella. And shout out to Cat, Sammead Sand, and hey, it's King McKay. And so yeah, so we got 4 that we know of. And I think he was supposed to have a total of 16. So, oh, and what's going on? So shout out to Leslie Powell. So I think he was supposed to have like a total of 16 or something like that. It was, you know, something crazy. And shit, I lost my train of thought for like 2 seconds there. But yeah, so we don't get the names of like all of them. Like I said, the ones that I can recall off the top of my head, and if there are any more that you guys know about, please let me know. But it's Gendry, Milestone, Edric Storm, and Bella. And so Gendry, you know, is an interesting character because he never knew his father, and it seems as though he did not know his mother, at least not well enough to recall, you know, other than the fact that, like, oh, she was blonde. She was blonde and possibly a tavern wench, and that's pretty much about it. Oh, and shout out to Jayon Calrissian. What's going on? So with that, you know, Gendry, you know what is funny? Okay, so Jon Arryn brought him to Tobo Mott to train him to be a blacksmith. You know, he was like, here's this kid. Do me a favor, train him to be a blacksmith. But just make sure he doesn't really, you know, make sure he doesn't ask any questions or anything. Here's the money for his apprenticeship and all that good stuff. And I kind of wonder, like, what was Gendry doing before that? Because I don't really remember much of his backstory before Tobo Mott. So, you know, you guys in the chat room can fill me out on anything that I might be missing. And hold on. Oh, sorry to, you know, to hear about your dad, Leslie. You know, hopefully he will get better soon. You know, yeah. So, you know, we will keep you in our thoughts and prayers and all that. And like I said, hopefully your dad does get well soon, and you know, maybe he can come and join you and watch one of the streams one day if he is so inclined. So, with Gendry now becoming a blacksmith, he is definitely become very talented, you know, to the point where he is making helmets in the shape of like different animals. He makes a bull's head helmet for himself. A shout out to Kevin Cleary. And also when Debo breaks down the door, what's going on, man? And so, like, and this is to be expected as far as his artistry with making things in metal, because he's trained by Tobo Mott, who is one of the few people who can reforge Valyrian steel. You know, like, no one knows how to make it from the inception, but they do know, you know, if you have Valyrian steel, there's a way for you to rework it, and Tobo Mott is like one of the few people who can actually do that. So, you know, after the whole thing with the slaughter of the kids, or even during the slaughter of the children, Gendry is sent off with Euron, who was going back to the wall, taking some men to the wall or whatever. And, we get to meet him through Arya's point of view. So, Arya had absolutely no idea who he was. He has absolutely no idea who he is. And, he and Arya become very close. They develop, a relationship. And it's hard to tell in the books. I mean, for one, Arya is a lot younger in the books than she is in the show. She's a preteen. And, it's like people have kind of tried to read more into what he and Arya's relationship might be in the books, whereas in the show it's still pretty ambiguous. But a lot of people would like for Arya and Gendry to get together. So I mean, we'll see what happens. Shout out to Video Game Vision Quest. What's going on? And also, Kevin Cleary, hope your dad gets well. Gets better soon as well, man. All right. Man. Yeah, it's funny. Like, this is the time of year, change of weather, and winter being here, where a lot of people actually do fall ill. So if you have loved ones who have fallen ill, do your best to take care of them and nurse them back to health, and then bring them here. Shameless self-promotion. Oh, so shameless. Anyways, so the two of them become very close, and when they're off the road traveling, because it winds up later on being those two and Hot Pie. They run into the Brotherhood without banners. There's the whole debacle with them, and Gendry decides he's going to stay on and be the smith for the Brotherhood without banners. And we don't get much of him in the books, unfortunately. The last time that we saw him in the books was when he came across goddamn, wasn't it? Brienne. Came across Brienne at I want to say the Inn at the Crossroads. Either the Inn at the Crossroads or what's the Clanking Dragon? It's one of the inns that we normally find a lot of people at, like where we get a lot of character interactions. And at this point, it's like the Brotherhood without banners has already kind of splintered into like the separate factions or whatever. And Gendry's got a whole bunch of kids with him now, and it kind of reminds me a little bit of Peter Pan and the Lost Boys, just a little bit. And shout out to Terry T, what's going on? And also Broke Black Man 94, what's going on, man? How you doing? So we have this guy who has become a fan favorite, and it may be more to do with the show than the books, because we don't get to see him on page at that much, and again, it's one of those things where, because they have cut out characters from the show and kind of combined things, combined some of the storylines, there's a lot more for him to do in the show. And it's one of those things where I'm like, all right, well, Gendry's here, Edric Storm is not. I'm pretty sure Gendry has a more substantial part to play, and a lot of people suspect that because of his tutelage under Tolbo Mott, that it is possible that he could be the one to reforge a bunch of Valyrian steel swords, and possibly out of the Iron Throne itself, which would be pretty interesting. I mean, because in the books, the Iron Throne is huge. Like when they talk about the 1,000 blades of Aegon, it might be 1,000 blades in the book version. Show version, we already know. Littlefinger counted up. It's not even 200. Oh, shout out to my man Big E. What's going on, man? So yeah, it's one of those things where, you know, they haven't addressed it in the show, and I'm gonna get into show Gendry in a moment. But for the books, you know, Gendry is still out there doing his thing. He, you know, he's a side character right now, very, very peripheral character. But you know, George sprinkles him in every now and then, just to let you know that he's still alive and kicking. And you know, we'll see if he happens to have a much bigger role in the books at a later date, especially when it comes to the whole idea of him either learning the secrets of creating Valyrian steel or reworking existing swords with Valyrian steel. Oh, had that turned off. It's no good. Alright, so let's talk about show Gendry, because as I stated, show Gendry is kind of a different beast, because they essentially cut out Edric Storm and gave Gendry a lot of Edric Storm's plot. So, while Arya is with the Brotherhood without banners, they happen to run into Melisandre somewhere in the Riverlands. Melisandre, you know, I guess had a vision somehow, and she, you know, basically goes to him and was like, hey, brought a couple bags of gold. I know you guys need gold. So do me a favor, sell me Gendry. Now, they have absolutely no idea what Melisandre's purpose is with Gendry, and it seems like they really don't care. They're just like, hey, look, you know, we follow the Lord of Light. She's a red priestess. She said she needs you for something special, and she just gave us 2 bags of gold. And golden dragons are, you know, not only super rare, but they're worth a lot. You know, golden dragons are like the $100 bills of Westeros, and maybe even $1,000 bills of Westeros. So, you know, Gendry now is taking to Dragonstone to meet his uncle Stannis, and on the way there, they pass by King's Landing, and Melisandre tells him, hey, yeah, you are the son of Robert Baratheon. And so now dude is kind of like, holy shit, really? This whole time I'm thinking I'm just, you know, some bastard kid, nobody or whatever, and come to find out I am the son of the former king. Holy shit, I'm the man. Melisandre, you know, does a ritual, and the crazy thing is, so she wanted to kill him to sacrifice him so that Stannis would be able to win the war against the Lannisters. Davos convinces Stannis to not allow Melisandre to go through with this, so she ties him down. She pretends as if she is going to have sex with him, and then just puts some leeches on him and burns the leeches, and Stannis says names: the usurper Joffrey Baratheon, the usurper Robb Stark, the usurper Balon Greyjoy. Those are 3 leeches into the fire. Robb Stark gets killed. Joffrey gets killed. No, Joffrey gets killed after, because the Red Wedding happens, and pretty much Stannis is like, oh, cool, you know what? Robb Stark died after I threw the leech in the fire and said his name. So Melisandre must be right. We got to kill the kid. Or am I getting this totally wrong now? I might be getting it wrong. I know he said somebody died, so we got to kill him. It must have been Robb Stark, because it seems like too early. It's definitely too early for Balon Greyjoy, because Balon Greyjoy died in like season 6, and Joffrey died season 4. So yeah, I'm guessing it would have had to be I'm guessing it would have had to been Robb Stark. It might. Okay. Well, obviously though, you have jeez, okay. Brain freeze. Why am I having these brain freezes? No good. Anyway, so you have Davos, who's like, nope, not allowing this to happen. It's not going down. And again, this is part of the Edric Storm plot that was given to Gendry. So he sneaks Gendry out of the castle, tells him to row, go back to King's Landing. And the funny thing is, so when Gendry is like, dude, you want me to go back to King's Landing? You know, like, why would I go back there when Cersei's trying to have me killed? And he's like, oh, okay. He says, Renly Baratheon, Robb Stark. Oh, okay. Got it. It was Renly Baratheon, Balon Greyjoy, and Robb Stark. Alright, I knew it was something. I'm like, wait, no, somebody actually did die, and that's why I wanted to kill him. Alright, so geez, what to leave off. Alright, so Gendry is like, yo, you want me to go back to King's Landing? And Davos says, do the gold cloaks know your face? And he's like, no. He was like, well, Melisandre does, and this will be the last place that she's gonna look for you, because, you know, why would you go back there? He's like, look, just go back, keep a low profile, you know, and you should be good. And that was the last that we saw of Gendry until season 7. And over, you know, the course of the series, we had heard, you know, many rumors and speculations, more speculations than anything. But people saying, oh, Gendry's gonna come back. Oh, I heard in such and such episode he's gonna wind up coming back. He's gonna have a cameo in this episode, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, while it was fun to speculate, finally we did get him back in season 7. And depending on how you look at it, it was either a great moment or great sequence of events in an otherwise lackluster season, or it was absolute horrid fan service that should never have been undertaken. And it's all based on your perspective on that one. I personally had no problem with Gendry coming back, although I did have issues with the way that he was used at times. And one of the one of the craziest things about this was when Davos first sees him again, he actually says a joke that has been a meme ever since Gendry rode off from Dragonstone. And people have been, talking about for years, oh, Gendry is still rowing. We haven't seen him because Gendry's still rowing. He's gonna wind up in Marine with all the rowing that he's doing. He's we're gonna hear about Gendry and Karth. Gendry is gonna come back and say he's been to Valeria. He's been to a Shy. Gendry knows what the rest of Westeros looks like. He can finish the map. He circumvented the globe. He's gonna come back like Hulk Hogan with the largest arms in the world, brother. The 24-inch pythons. And Davos actually says to him, "I thought you'd still be wrong," which I was like, "Oh God, all right." I mean, okay. It was funny, but at the same point, it's like it's a little juvenile for that to actually be in there, man. But Gendry comes back now. He's been making weapons for the Lannisters, and he's like, "Look, listen, they're paying." Oh, shout out to Patty Ann and Bernie the Burnt. What's going on? Yeah, he's like, "Look, they're paying. Nobody's bothering me here. We're good." So yeah, it's not what I want to do, but whatever. And when Davos is like, "Hey, do you want to come on a dangerous mission?" He's like, "Oh yeah." I mean, it seemed a little odd that here we got this guy who pops up out of nowhere after all this time, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, sure, I'll drop everything that I'm doing. Drop my lucrative entrepreneurial business right now, and yeah, we'll just up and run." I've been making all of this stuff because I've always felt as though there was a larger purpose for me. And that is why I have made this massive hammer. And it's kind of crazy. I'm sort of like, that is a pretty big hammer. But the other crazy thing about it was that he put the Baratheon stag on it. Like, that's a little bold, especially seeing as how, Cersei Lannister is now the ruler of King's Landing at this point. She runs it top to bottom. It's a Lannister dynasty. It is no longer a Baratheon dynasty. So it seemed interesting that he would go out of his way to do something that blatant, especially seeing as how his number one customers were the Lannisters. So it was that was a little interesting. And is it me, or was the hammer kind of odd shaped? The the bell of the hammer or whatever may have you. Shout out to Julia West and also Ragnar Giantsbane. What's going on? Yo, and I've been on Vikings so heavy this season too. All right, so so when he finally gets back to Dragonstone with Davos, why? Jeez, yo, I'm having so many just brain stutters right now. It is ridiculous. He gets back to Dragonstone with Davos. Davos is like, "Look, I'm gonna introduce you to Jon Snow. He's a king, but you don't say anything. You tell him you're Clovis." And immediately, like I guess somehow he has heard the stories of Robert and Ned, so he knows that Ned is Jon's father. Uh, and so he's like, man, yo, fuck this. His dad and my dad were best friends. He immediately walks up and is like, hey, you're Jon Snow. I'm Gendry. My father was Robert Baratheon. Your father was Ned Stark. They were best friends. We should be best friends now, too. Okay, let's go. And so they immediately set off to their ill-fated mission beyond the wall. And I say ill-fated because, you know, you have the loss of one of Daenerys' dragons and the loss of, I think, about 4 red shirts and also Thoros of Myr. And also, I'm not even sure if anyone still has Gendry's hammer after all that, but, you know, it's whatever for that. This was so interesting with this whole thing, especially with them telling Gendry to run back to the wall, because I have major issues with the fact that they have shown what the geography of north of the wall looks like. And so there should be no way for Gendry to run back to the wall without his heart having exploded the moment that he got there from being overworked. Now, I don't know how to bring it up on screen. I'm not an OBS master, so I don't know how to do screen sharing or anything like that. And I do not have my map books with me right now. But when you guys get the chance, I would like for you to go and look at a map of north of the wall for Westeros. On the east side, there are no mountainous regions. There are no mountainous regions over there. So I don't know where the hell it was that they had, you know, they went to this mountain and then Gendry runs back from the mountain to Eastwatch. Yeah. Yeah. Kingston, how you listen? I'm still trying to learn about this damn program. I might actually spend some money on a different program to do some other stuff. I don't know yet. I'm still trying to figure all that out. Listen, I'll be honest with you folks. You know, just a short pause and all this. Live streaming applications. If you're not using OBS, OBS is free. But if you are not using OBS and you're trying to do live streaming, I'm doing it on a Mac. They don't make a lot of stuff for Macintosh. And the ones that they do make are hella expensive. One program is $1,000 in order for me to do what I want to do and have it, you know, be as good as it needs to be. And the other one I think is like $300 or $400. $400 and you only get to use it for like 3 years or something like that. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. For right now, you know, no screen sharing because damn it, I don't know how to do it on OBS. But anyway, back to the program. So Gendry runs back to the wall. He collapses. All of that good stuff. And okay, Alicia Kingston has put up the interactive map. So when you guys get the chance, make sure you go to the map. I mean, if you're watching this later on, you know, just look up the Game of Thrones Westeros map, and you'll see that it is impossible for Gendry to do what he has done. Except, wait, I almost forgot. It is very possible. It is very possible, and because of one man. It is possible because of one great man. Oh, yeah. Littlefinger's Travel Services. See, so how Gendry was able to get from the west coast of northern Westeros, beyond the wall, to Eastwatch by the Sea. This man right here. And his grand teleportation technology. Yeah. That's the best explanation I have. Anyway, so yeah, Gendry came back, and we haven't seen him do anything. Because I mean, he basically was dehydrated or suffering from hypothermia or something like that. So, will Gendry die? Hopefully not. Hopefully not. And I think we have to get into some Gendry theory crafting here. Again, there's already the theory. Kevin, have a good night, sir. Thank you for joining in, and again, hopefully your father gets better, right? So we have Gendry possibly, reforging or discovering the secret of Valyrian steel and being the blacksmith who helps to save the realm, which that would be awesome. Also about his parentage. So, there are a few theories about his parentage, most notably the theory from James Johnson and his mother, LaDonna, and that theory being that Cersei and Robert Baratheon actually had a legitimate child, and that legitimate child is Gendry, which would make Gendry the rightful heir to the throne. And if you hear anyone else say that they came up with that theory or they got that theory from somewhere other than James Johnson and LaDonna, they are a liar. And I am telling you, look, I want you to look into my eyes right now. Look in the camera. If they say, "Oh no, did not get that theory from James and LaDonna," unless it's third or fourth hand, if they say, "No, I came up with this theory," they are an absolute liar. They got it from James and LaDonna. Period, point blank. Because James and LaDonna have had that theory for it's been on YouTube for the past 3 or 4 years. Maybe even longer than that. All right. And they actually came up with that theory from the books. Whereas in the show, it's been speculated, the show kind of lended credence to that theory because Cersei said that she had a child. She tells Catelyn in season 1 that she had a child with black hair, and he wound up being he wound up getting sick or whatever, and they took the baby away, and she never saw the baby again. So, oh man, so the theory doesn't even make sense in the show. Well, the theory makes sense in the show if you take the line that Cersei said about her having a child, that their first child died, or she believed that the first child died. So the theory is actually stronger in the show than it is in the books. The way that that Cersei, not Cersei, but the way that James and LaDonna came up with the theory from the books, it's a little tinfoily. You're definitely gonna need some tinfoil to make it work. But like I said, the show actually lends a little more credence to that. All right, but I have exhausted the amount that I can talk about Gendry, so let's take some questions because questions are always fun. Question time, and then I gotta find this damn thing. It's down here or something, or symbols, or I think it might be symbols. Here we go. Question time is nice. Yeah, the baby died and the body mysteriously disappeared. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens with that. Okay, so Julia West asked, "Are D&D trying to use the Aegon baby switching plot for Gendry in the show since we don't have young Griff?" I'm gonna say no. Because I think that if they were gonna do that, they would have given more clues to it. I mean, I think that we are meant to take the baby dying at face value. I don't think it's meant to be a thing of um I don't think it's supposed to be um yeah, I don't think it's supposed to be a baby swap for that one. We haven't gotten any other clues as to that at all. Like the most that we got was Gendry saying that his mother was blonde and that she used to sing to him, and that Cersei said that she had a black haired baby with Robert, and that the baby got sick and died, and that she never saw the baby. Like, she said the baby got sick, they took the baby away. Uh, they told me he died. I never saw him after they took him away. And that's the most that we got. So, but it would be interesting. It would be interesting if they actually did that, but it will look way out of place now, though. It will look way out of place because she, like, they haven't given any clues to anything. She never talked about singing to the baby, or anything. So yeah. All right. All right. Next up from J.I. Calrissian. Uh, there can only be one Edric Storm or Gendry. Okay, I'm not. I'm not sure. You have to rephrase the question because I'm not exactly sure what it is you're trying to ask. So yeah, resubmit the question, rephrase because I'm not sure exactly what it is you're trying to ask. So please elaborate. In the meantime, DJ asks, "What is Gendry's endgame in the show?" Gendry's endgame. I mean, obviously a lot of this has to do with the faith of the Seven, I would imagine. So you're gonna have Gendry as some aspect of the Seven. So I'm pretty sure Gendry is going to be the Smith. So maybe at the end of it, it'll be like he's the guy who was able to bring back Valyrian steel. So I think that's his end game. Is he? They're gonna at the end of it, it's gonna be like, yeah, well, Valyrian steel could stop White Walkers, and he was the guy to bring it back or whatever. But yeah, and Pamela. Oh, hey, Pam, where have you been? Wow, getting so many people I haven't seen in so long. Um, let's see here. So Pamela Evans Schnick asks, what is the end game for Gendry, Lord or King of Storm's End and married to Arya? Neither. Like I said, I think he's just going to want to be a very great smith at the end of it. He's gonna, like I said, he's gonna be the guy that teaches the next generation, and it leaves the secret of how to create Valyrian steel from scratch, not just rework it. Let's see here. All right, so from Leslie Powell, who will be left to legitimize Gendry? I think anybody who is a king, but you know what? Look, I think at the end of it, we're not really gonna have royalty in the same sense that we do now. It would be, with the way that all of these major houses are collapsing. I think it would be a little regressive to have all of these major houses collapse and then go right back to a monarchy again. So I don't think there's going to be a need for Gendry to be legitimized. You know, but let's say, you know, for the sake of this particular question, if there is anyone left, I mean, you know, Jon, Daenerys, because Cersei's got to die, right? She has to. Which that means the only two people who would have any royal anything, if they survive to the end of the story, would be Jon and Daenerys. So it would have to be one of those two that would legitimize him. Only thing is, we don't know if they're gonna make it out alive. So that's what I'm saying. There might not be anybody to legitimize him. Okay, J.R. Calrissian. When it's all said and done, who ends up as Lord of Storm's End? Man. Okay, so who ends up as Lord of Storm's End? If it isn't going to be Gendry, I could see them possibly giving it to Davos. If it isn't going to be Gendry, then it's going to be Davos. Because who else is there? You know, we look for the show, right? If this is what you're asking about, if you're asking about the show, we literally don't even know anybody else from the Stormlands at all. I mean, Davos himself isn't from the Stormlands, but you can't even name a Stormlander at this point. Like, there's not one person that I can think of that would be like, oh yeah, nah, this dude from the Stormlands. Nah. So you'd have to give it to either Gendry or Davos. You know. Alright, next up from Ricky Hunt. You know Ricky had to come with the question sooner or later. What are Varys' plans for Gendry? Varys seems to have paid for Gendry's training and paid for him to be sent to the Night's Watch. He seems to be planning something with him. Any thoughts on what they are? Honestly speaking, I'm thinking that Varys wanted Gendry out of the way. Because again, if you have this person, remember, Varys is all about, you know, for the most part, if you're talking about the books, most likely Blackfire restoration, but cloaked as as a Targaryen. If he's about the Targaryen restoration, he wants the Targaryens. Point is, he does not want the Baratheons ruling. And if Gendry could in any way be legitimized and put on the throne, that's just not something he wants. He wants Gendry, he wants the Baratheons out of the way. He wants everyone who is not of the Targaryen lineage, and most likely Blackfire Targaryen to be specific. He wants them out of the way. So, hey, yeah, here's this kid who looks exactly right like Robert Baratheon. We have an opportunity to get rid of him before people start asking questions and call for him to possibly be legitimized and to be king. So get him out of here, give some money, you know, don't tell him who his father is. Oh, you know what? We got turmoil in the capital. People could find out the truth now with all of this crazy shit that Joffrey and Cersei are doing. Tobelmont, here's the deal. I'm gonna pay off the rest of Gendry's apprenticeship. Send him to the Night's Watch. You know, so it's all about not having trouble as far as with the Baratheons being concerned. That's all. And another one for Ricky. All right, do you see Edric coming back to the story and being legitimized instead of Gendry? Gendry has no proof of who he is, whereas Edric is known by everybody to be Robert's son and is highborn. It's very possible. It is very possible that Edric in the books, comes back and is legitimized. I don't know, because like Edric is a wild card right now. You know, because ever since he basically rolled away, we have not heard anything from Edric Storm whatsoever. We have heard zero from him. We have not heard any clues as to where he might be, but I think he has to pop up at some point. And the crazy thing about it, I could see him popping up and being with Aegon. Now, you might think to yourself, why would he be with Aegon? Well, Aegon currently has no heirs, and the Baratheons and the Targaryens were close for a very long time. He might be able to make the case to him like, look, yeah, my father, was a douchebag, but so was your father. Our fathers fought. They shouldn't have fought. Technically we're cousins or whatever. Legitimize me and I can rally the Stormlands to your cause. So I could see that happening. No, we'll see. All right, next up from Julia West. You really think D&D will try to marry Gendry to one of the Stark girls? Do you think they'll marry him to anyone? I don't know. That is a good question. That is a very good question. Because here's the thing. I don't think that Arya is Arya, for all intents and purposes, has pretty much been she's pretty much asexual. They have not made her interested in men or women at all. But again, remember, she's also supposed to still be kind of a young teen in the show. And in the books, again, she's still a preteen. And with Sansa having been married twice on the show and kind of not really trusting any men right now. I don't know that they're gonna have her marry Gendry. It would seem a little forced if they had her marry Gendry. So I don't know that Gendry is going to marry anyone. If he does, yeah, no, I'll be honest with you. I don't think he does. I don't think he's gonna marry anybody. I mean, unless they just decide, okay, we're gonna for season 8, we're just gonna fanfic it to death, and he, all of a sudden him and Arya are gonna fall in love, which I'd be like, okay, okay, this is odd, but it's D&D. Sammy Sand says George R. R. Martin neglects the Stormlands, and DMD have forgotten the Stormlands exist. Oh my god, yeah, it kind of seems like that, doesn't it? Let's see what Courtney Penrose is dead. Courtney Penrose is dead, and you should think a little Uzi Vert. Anytime Courtney Penrose comes up, push me to the edge. Courtney Penrose is dead. Man, nah. So, let's see here. Let's see here. All right, from Alicia Kingston, why do you think John Aaron took care of Gendry and not any of the other bastards? That is a good question. I mean, Gendry may have been the only one who didn't have anyone to look after him at that point. It may have been a thing where all of the other bastards had somebody. They had a parent of some sort, and maybe Gendry just didn't have any parents to take care of him. He may have been in an orphanage. Like, we don't know where Gendry came from before he ended up with Tobo Mott. We just know that he says his mother was most likely a tavern wench or something like that. That's pretty much what we know. So yeah, he might have been in an orphanage or something, and it's like, oh, okay, well, this is the only one of Robert's kids that doesn't have a caretaker. Here, I'll throw him with somebody to put him to good use. I mean, that's the only thing I can come up with. All right, let's see here. All right, so from Way Off Topic Radio, will the first sword Gendry reforges be the Tarly sword Sam stole? Probably not. And at this point in the show, it's like, what sword? Oh my god, yeah, that was one of those things where I'm like, how in the world does Sam Tarly steal a precious family heirloom like that, and his father, who knows he's going to the Citadel, doesn't either send someone and be like, yeah, Sam, or go there himself and be like, oh, you think you're a real Tarly, and not a real Tarly, you don't take the goddamn Tarly sword. You with your goddamn wildling. Take my fucking sword, will you? Yeah, no, man. Yeah, I know. I sound nothing like the actor. That was my best impression of the hell was Sam's dad again. His brother was Dickon. What the hell was his father's name again? It doesn't matter. He's dead. He got himself roasted because he wouldn't bend a knee. Okay, so Jay on Kerosian asks, so Gendry really is gonna end up as Arya's side bitch? No, I doubt it, man. I doubt it. Oh, shout out to AU Pack Mule. Respect the pack. And also shout out to Brian Jensen. What's going on, man? Oh, Randall. Yeah, Randall Tarly. Listen, man, the dude was such a dick. I mean, listen, the actor did a great job at playing Randall Tarly. So, it's one of those things where, yeah, I hated him because, yeah, he needed to be hated. But yeah, Gendry will not end up as a side piece for Arya. I don't think Arya is gonna have any of that stuff at all, man. And it's funny because Maisie Williams is like 21 or 22 and still looks 15. She is going to be getting carded for a long time. It's like Leonardo DiCaprio. Leonardo DiCaprio just started looking like a grown ass man like 5 years ago, and dude is like in his early 40s. All right, next up for Ricky Hunt. Why didn't anyone try to kill Edric? With all of Robert's bastards being killed off, why not kill the one who was the biggest threat? I mean, well, for one, Edric was a way to prove, or try to prove Cersei's infidelity, because he was one of the kids that looked exactly like Robert. And how would you get someone either to Dragonstone or the Stormlands to kill him? He's not a threat to Stannis. He's not a threat to Renly. He was a tool. He was a prop. It was like, for my political theater, here, I present to you Edric Storm, the true illegitimate son of Robert Baratheon, as opposed to Joffrey. Look at those Lannister curls, the golden hair, the green eyes. Whereas we have a strong, robust Baratheon child, the flowing black mane, the sparkly blue eyes. He is a Baratheon through and through. Now Joffrey was a pretender. So that's why I didn't kill him. Now, one of these days, I'm actually gonna take some acting classes and try to do a Shakespearean play just because. Get my Avery Brooks on. Alright, oh my god, I can't believe it. When Debo breaks down the door, I ask a question tonight. What's going on, man? Alright, is anyone... is Arsh... Whoa. I got so excited about the question. I'm screwing up now. Alright, is Arya partial to Gendry? Oh, damn it, it just moved. Is Arya partial to Gendry and just hard pressed, or does Arya have absolutely no sexual interest? I'm going to have to say that she has no sexual interest at all. It has not been expressed whatsoever. I mean, there was the faint moment where Gendry had his shirt off, where it looks like Arya might have been, kind of been like, oh my god, oh, what was that odd feeling? But other than that, nah, she has not expressed interest in anyone, and it's cool. Nobody's really sitting there like, Arya, you must remember when Ned brought up the notion to her about being married to a lord and having his kids and, ruling his castle. She was like, nah, sorry, buddy, it's not happening. No dice. We're going to go back to chasing these cats around. So, yeah, and she was young. I mean, think about how many times you see young girls playing with dolls and, you know, talking about how, you know, they can't wait to grow up and be a mommy and have babies and all that stuff. And Arya was like, no dice. I got the sword. I got this bow and arrow. I'm about to go kill something. About to go kill something early. So, yeah. Arya has absolutely no interest in the pleasures of the flesh. Mm. Let's see here. Randall was marked for death from Jump Street. Dick, I know he could have saved the show. And I mean, listen, man, you know, Dickon has the right name. I don't understand what the deal with Randall, you know, whatever. Randall was a racist bastard. He was a xenophobic bastard. Even though he wasn't a bastard, he's a bastard. Oh, and have a good night to Julia West. And, oh, shout out to Meridian Mormont. What's going on? Alright, sure. Next up from Ricky Hunt. War of the Hellhound, Simeon Star Eyes saw fighting at the Night Fort. Actually, Direwolves says, and he saw the battle between Lords of Winterfell fighting against the Night King, possibly his brother. I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea. I'll be honest with you. You know, again, it's one of those things where it's one of those things where George alludes to so many things in the books that he hasn't really fully paid off yet. And he's already said that there are certain things he's just not going to tell us about. And who knows? It might, like, because if I'm not mistaken, Simeon Star Eyes is dead anyway. So we might not ever, yeah, that's going to be one of those things that we probably won't even get a definitive answer to. It's a very kind of one-off thing that's supposed to kind of make your mind wonder, and there might be something else that that might be one of those things where it comes up in a different portion of the books later on, and it's like that was like the catalyst to show you, okay, well, we have this thing that Simeon Star Eyes saw, and now we connect it to this thing over here that happens later, and that was just supposed to prepare your mind for what is, you know, what could happen later. You know, as I've stated with some of my brand stuff, like the prologue for A Dance with Dragons with what's this dude's name again? Varamir Sixskins. Varamir Sixskins chapter was just supposed to set you up for stuff that can happen with warging later on. So it might not have been a thing where, you know, you get the complete answer or something. It's just to plant the seed in your mind of, okay, this is something that can happen. All right, so just put that in the back of your mind of this can happen. So when you see it later on, it's not just a shock to the system. Like, where the hell did this come from? There was no setup for it. So that was probably just a setup thing. That's all. Oh, shout out to Marilyn Bentley. What is going on? All right, so from Angel Reed. Angel, what's going on? Long time no see. Is Gendry a better fighter in the books? Um, I'll be honest with you. I mean, we don't really get to see him do much fighting. I mean, like, pretty much the only fighting we really get to see him do is initially when when the Lannisters are trying to hunt him down when he's with Euron and the rest of the guys going up to the wall, and then later on with Brienne, where Rourke and Biter are after him, or what? Well, not Rourke and Biter are after him, but they're after Brienne. So, um, oh, thank you to Marilyn Bentley. Ah, but don't give any more money. Please, I implore you, people, do not give money here. YouTube is not. Anytime you do super chat, YouTube does not give me the money. So yeah, shout out to Tyrion Jr. Landstark. Yeah, I hate to break it to you, people. I guess, like, if you have never seen before, it is something you should definitely be aware of. When you guys do super chats, look, in order for the super chat to actually go through, I literally have to get thousands of views. I'm talking thousands upon thousands of views in order for the super chat money to actually go through. Otherwise, YouTube is just like, oh, thank you, yoinks, and away. So yeah, I do thank you for the gesture, but yeah, I'm never gonna see that money. Let's see here. All right, Ricky Hunt asks, where is Gendry's bull helmet? Any chance he ever gets it back? No. He never gets it back. I mean, it was left with Lamy Green Hands, when they were trying to figure out, like, who is Gendry. At least in the show. I don't remember what happened to it in the books, but in the show it got left with Lamy Greenhand's body. Yeah, so yeah. I wish I had a better answer for you, but I mean, like, I think at this particular point, the helmet is, in the wind. Next up, from when Debo breaks down the door, how much Westerosi history will be left a mystery? Will fans ever get their victory? Will George finally understand that his plan to keep his cards underhand will backfire if his setup doesn't land? Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where, look, I don't know if anyone here has seen The Last Jedi. I ranted about it last Friday because I was thoroughly disappointed with the fact that there were things that were set up in The Force Awakens that were never paid off whatsoever in The Last Jedi. And George is social media savvy enough, and he's a good enough writer to know, like, you don't put things in that you're never going to pay off. Now, look, it's one thing to allude to certain things, and it's just like, oh no, there's something, like, we have mysteries in our own world that it's just stuff that you hear about, but you don't know how it's actually done, like the pyramids of Giza. They exist. They were obviously built there's a certain period of time in which they were supposedly built. Scientists have no idea how to rebuild it, you know, especially in the time frame that is supposedly taken. They're like, it's impossible to build it in that time because of all of these logistical things, but apparently, supposedly was done over a period of 22 years, and they're like, no, there's no way that you could have built like the Great Pyramid of Giza in 22 years. You might add another 2 onto that, and you could have built the Great Pyramid of Giza, but it's over 2 million blocks, and each one of the blocks weighs tons, etc., etc. So you can't do it. So with that being said, it's one of those things that George puts things in the story like that where it's like we don't know where it came from, and yes, we would like to know where that stuff came from, but anything that he's actually set up in the story that's supposed to be, you know, part of the story, like them setting up about Jon's parentage. I don't think that's something that he would never answer, because it's like you don't keep on dropping clues as to Ned Stark isn't Jon's real father. Rhaegar is most likely Jon's real father, and then never actually say yes, confirmed. So yeah, that's the whole thing with that one. Oh, damn. Kent, Maryland's asking, can I turn? Honestly speaking, I don't know. I will look into whether or not I can turn off the super chat. Um, I'll look into it, but honestly speaking, I don't know. And yeah, I thought everybody, I thought everybody knew by now. Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, yeah, and I really, you know, like I said, I don't want you people to feel ripped off, you know, because I am totally grateful for the gesture. If there was any way like, for anybody who's ever sent me any super chats, you know, send me a message and I will personally send you your money back. Fuck YouTube, because YouTube is absolutely on the bullshit. So you know, I don't care if it costs me, but I don't like when it costs you guys. So if you have sent me a super chat, let me know and I will send you your money back. Me personally, I will PayPal you the money or whatever may have you. All right. So Marilyn, you know, send me a message with your contact info, and I personally will refund you your money. All right. All right. Next up from Leslie Powell. What do you think happened to the horn found with the dragon glass and the fist of the first men? Was it a horn of winter, and will it be used in the battle for the dawn? Um, no. I think that like that horn was a misnomer. It was, I think that was just supposed to be um I think that was just supposed to be whatchamacallit, it was just supposed to show like a package of things, and then the dragon glass was supposed to be the most important part. Um, you know, um, the dragon glass was supposed to be the most important part. We see the horn, and honestly speaking, if it was going to be something big, I think they would have at least mentioned a horn by now. You know, they haven't even mentioned any horns whatsoever. So yeah, I don't think that the horn is gonna do anything. I mean, that would be nice, but Yeah, now are you talking about the one in the show, Leslie? Because if you're talking about the one in the show, nah. But I think there was a horn found in the Fist of the First Men in the books as well, and that one was it was that one's a little iffy. It could be, but maybe they'll have to like use some new bands or something. Like they have to like do some repair on it because I do believe that it was you know I don't know. I do believe that it was damaged. So I don't know. We'll have to see. Okay. All right. But yeah, Maryland. I'm going to look definitely into. I'm gonna look into turning off the super chat thing. Cause yeah, I don't want you guys wasting your money. Like I said, send me a message and I will personally refund you the money because I don't like YouTube doing that. I mean it makes me look bad, and it honestly it's discouraging. It really is. Next up from Ricky Hunt, will Gendry help Brienne or Jamie in any way, or will he stick by Stoneheart wanting to kill them both? Um, I don't know. I honestly don't know. Because yeah, Gendry is there, and the demeanor that he had when he met up with Brienne originally was really kind of standoffish. And the fact that he's rolling with Stoneheart currently is one of those things where it's like, well, we already know Stoneheart is on a mission, and her mission is pain. So, you know what could possibly happen? Brienne sacrifices herself for Jamie, and somehow throughout the whole thing, Gendry winds up going with Jamie after that. I mean, seems like a long shot, but who knows? And thank you for the shout outs, everyone. Look, I don't do this for the money and all that, but I'm glad. Hold on. So, I'm gonna turn off the super chat now. Um, and so I got three people I owe some money to. Yeah. So I will, like I said, send me your info and I will definitely send you money. Now, how the hell do I turn this off? Over the past full history. Oh, here we go. Turn off super chat. Um. All right. So now that I've turned that off, yeah, yeah, because it really absolutely makes no sense. Honestly speaking. All right. There we go. All right. Let's get back to the questions. All right, where did I go? Where did I go? All right, so next up from Ricky Hunt. Could Varys have been planning to use Gendry as a way to delegitimize Cersei's children? Varys likely as Tyrek, who knew about Cersei's kids. Was Gendry part of that plan? I mean, it's possible. Um, it's very possible. You know. Honestly speaking, I don't know, because I mean, Varys's plan is super complicated as it is, because if he's trying to have a sixth Blackfire rebellion, you know, which would be a quiet rebellion for the throne. The question is, would he need to use Gendry? You know, because Joffrey's dead at this point. They never let Myrcella become queen, and with Kevin dead, there's gonna be, you know, possible civil war, because Varys is already kind of thrown into motion different stuff, like the, you know, leaving the Gardener King gold piece. So I mean, I honestly, I don't know where Gendry would fit into the plan, because I don't think he would need to. I mean, but then again, you know, George could have set that up from before and then decided to go into a different direction. But I don't know what purpose Gendry would serve in a Varys plan to delegitimize Cersei's children, especially at this point, because, you know, even though Stannis is around still, Stannis is in the north, and he's not really concerned with the politics of the south. And if you brought Aegon over, and not agree, but what do you say? Um, if you get people to back Aegon, I mean, I guess that's the best way I can put it. If you get people to back Aegon, you don't need to delegitimize Cersei's children using Gendry. You know, you already have Aegon, and if people believe he's the real deal, then, you know, they'll just back him, and it's not going to matter whether or not they see Cersei's children as legitimate. You know, so yeah, I honestly don't know. But we'll see what happens. Shout out to Paul McQuay. Have a good night. Oh, and Marilyn, you got your money back. Good, good. You know, yeah. Like I said, I do not want people to feel like they wasted their money. I see spots. I owe you some money, man. Send me your contact info so I can send you your money, because YouTube is on the bullshit, man. Let's see here. Let's see. Patty Ann says, I was hoping Brienne survives to write Jaime's name in the Book of Heroes in King's Landing, and let's see, he still has a blank page under his name. I don't know. I don't know. I had to see. I had to see what happens with that one for him, because yeah, he wants his name in the right in the white book. the question is, what good deed will he do to get his name in there? And I'm imagining somebody else will probably have to write his name in there because he's gonna wind up. I think he's gonna die while killing Cersei. So his name will probably end up in the White Book because of that. But who it is that writes his name in there, I'm not sure. And I don't know, for some reason I see Brienne sacrificing herself for Jaime to prove ultimately that Jaime is actually an honorable man. Because Brienne is one of the most honorable people in the books, and I think that if Lady Stoneheart and the Brotherhood Without Banners see that she is willing to sacrifice herself for Jaime, then possibly that could allow him to finally restore his honor. But we'll see what happens with that. Let's see here. All right, Marilyn Bentley asks, do you think Gendry will survive in the show? And if not, how will he go out? What would you like to see happen to the character? Um, yeah, I think that he is going to survive the show. Because if you're going to kill him, there has to be a reason to kill him off. It has to serve to further someone else's journey. So I think that, you know, like I said, I think that I think we're going to wind up getting some metaphorical aspects of each of the faith of the seven. So, Gendry being the smith, Brienne, maybe being the warrior for the show, because I don't think they're gonna kill off Brienne in the show. Um, so Brienne maybe being the warrior, Sansa the maiden, Arya the stranger would be the father. I would say Sam is the crone. So you got the crone, stranger, mother, maiden, smith, father, and the warrior, right? So Gendry is the smith. Brienne is the warrior. Arya is the stranger. Whatchamacallit? Sansa as the maiden. We got Sam as the crone. And I don't know, maybe maybe Jon is mother and father? Maybe? Mm-hmm. Let's see here. All right. Let's see. Next question from Ricky Hunt is, when did the White Fawn coming back to the story? Is she Septa Lemore? Ashara is too young to be Lemore, and Lemore doesn't have purple eyes, so Wenda seems to be the only option. I mean, it makes sense, you know. Because everybody who's a part of Aegon's party is not who they claim to be, with the exception of like Holden Halfmaester. Um, Holden Halfmaester and Raleigh Duckfield are like the only two that seem to be who they say they are. Um, so yeah, I mean, I could see her being Wonder the White Fawn. I mean, but then again, it's like what purpose would she serve though? There has to be some purpose. I mean, I gotta reread A Dance with Dragons again because a lot of that stuff is very interesting. There's big info dumps in the chapters and all that. So yeah, I gotta see what the deal is with that stuff, man. All right, next up from Marilyn Bentley, what do you think will become of Aegon in the book? Do you believe he really is who he thinks he is? Um, Now listen, I'm guessing he's probably a Blackfire. He has absolutely no idea who he is. Uh, he's gonna get called out on it at some point, and he's probably going to die. Um, it would be the craziest thing if he. It would be the craziest thing if he knew that he was a Blackfire. Like that would be the illest. But I think it would actually. If he doesn't know, I think when and if he finds out, it will absolutely crush him. Because for him to be raised thinking that he is the legitimate son of Rhaegar Targaryen and should be the legitimate heir to the throne, and then to find out like, no, uh you're actually a from a cadet legitimized branch, and you're only pretending to be this person. That would be absolutely horrifying to find out something like that in real life. That would be, oh man, that would be so messed up. Yeah, so I mean, damn. That would be, oh man, that would be the worst. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, that would be absolute, man, that would be the absolute worst. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Uh, that's gonna be interesting to find, like, for him to find out. Like, he probably wouldn't believe it. I could see him saying, "Yo, dude, you're lying. There's absolutely no way that it's possible. I've already been pretending to be young Griff. How are you gonna tell me that I've also been pretending to be Aegon?" like, yo, like, yo, I've been I've been pretending to be someone, and now you're telling me I've been double pretending. Like, I've been pretending to be Rhaegar's son, who's been pretending to be John Connington's son. Oh God, that is rich. That is rich. Oh, that is absolutely hilarious. That would be soul crushing. That would be absolutely soul crushing. Oh my God. All right, so Patty Ann says, "Isn't a maiden a virgin? So if so, Arya is a virgin." I mean, but I think when they talk about maiden, I think it's supposed to be more about innocence than virginity. Because you could, and I think it's like more naivete to the world than anything, or just having more of the innocent mind about dealing with the world than anything. So I think more the thing of maiden, than it is about necessarily being a virgin. I mean, but it could be that one. Who knows? All right, when Debo breaks down the door, ask. When Cersei nodded for Gregor to kill the knight with one hand, why didn't he follow his command? Because D&D. I'm trying to look for something I can use to represent logic. Oh. Logic. Let's see what this is. We don't need this. Yeah, that's pretty much, about that. All right, let's see here. Let's see. Tyrion Jr. Landstar asks, so is John Aegon in the show? Apparently he is. Yeah. Even though they did mention that Rhaegar already had a son named Aegon. And for those of you who may not know about this or may have forgotten, in the scene, I think it's season 3. Arya, no, the Brotherhood Without Banners have captured the Hound. Was that season 2? Maybe that's season 2. I don't know. Either way, Brotherhood Without Banners captured the Hound. They accuse him of killing the Targaryen kids, and Aegon and Rhaenys names are brought up as being the Targaryen children. So the fact that they actually named John Aegon, like, I just want you to know, D&D think you're stupid. They do. Alright, next up from Ricky Hunt. Will Aegon actually gain control of Rhaegal? It would be Green Dragon versus Black Dragon. Greens versus Blacks again. That would be very interesting. That would be very interesting indeed, because the Blacks versus the Greens with Aegon versus what was this? Was it Rhaenyra? I think it was Rhaenyra. Who should have actually been the queen, because their father was like, hey, I want my daughter to be the queen. And when he died, they totally disrespected his wishes. So, that started the whole thing with her and her brother, who became Aegon the Second. Yeah, but very interesting. Could be the Blacks and the Greens all over again. Wow. The Hound actually was not there when the Targaryen children were killed, and he actually made that point, like, I wasn't even there. How in the world are you gonna blame me for something that my brother did? Okay. All right. Next up from Wendy, who breaks down the door. Since in the books, all of Daenerys knows is red and yellow bricks and sand. When wow, all right, this is hilarious. I'm like, you didn't kind of went Wizard of Oz on me for a sec there. Since in the books, all Daenerys knows is red and yellow bricks and sand. When will she reach the mainland? I'll be honest with you. Like, I could see George saying, okay, Daenerys does not come to Westeros, or she doesn't even, yeah, she doesn't come to Westeros until A Dream of Spring. Oh, we still have so much more that Daenerys must do before she can finally leave Slaver's Bay. You know. Oh my god. I can see that happening. So, she'll spend the last book in Westeros, and before that, it'll be her finishing up her work in Slaver's Bay. Mm-mm-mm. Green Giant walks in with a can of corn. Mm-mm-mm. And Ion Trone says Daenerys must sample all the foods of Estos before leaving. Seems like it. You know, maybe she can go back, get her brother's body, bury him in Westeros. That would be interesting. Oh man. All right, let's see. Ricky is saying that Danny is going straight to Westeros when she gets back. She is done with the free cities. That is clear in her last dance chapter. Possible, but I mean, listen, man, I'm not gonna, put it past George to be like, oh, there's still so much more that needs to be done. And I think that, you know, I think that I think that it's going to be, very incumbent upon her to, stay and stabilize Slaver's Bay before she leaves, and possibly turn it into the Bay of Dragons, like in the show. Shout out to Meridian Mormont. Have a good afternoon. I believe you are across the world somewhere. So, good afternoon, good night, good morning, all that good stuff. All right. All right. Next up from Leslie Powell. Now that Jon is a legitimate heir to the Iron Throne and not a bastard, will he no longer possess his bastard sword, Longclaw? I mean, why not keep it? Might as well keep it. Yeah, you might as well keep it. Just keep it. It's cool. It's fine. Cool. Keep it. Because what else are you gonna do with it? Who? I mean, like, he already tried giving it back to Jorah. I don't know. Maybe Jorah might take it now. You know, after he finds out that he's been using a whole another sword to stab Danny with. Give me back my father's sword. I trusted you. I thought you were a good man, Jon Snow. I see you're even worse than your father. Oh my god. That'd be absolutely hilarious. Alright, next up, when Debo breaks down the door. Even though Cersei put Tormund's head aside. Don't put no jeez. Why the hell am I see, I told you I used to write rhymes and I was never able to like read them. So like when you see like rappers freestyle off their phone, oh, I'd be done for. They ever put me on TV or on the internet trying to freestyle or recite rhymes off the phone, I'd be like, yep, I'm gonna toss this away and finish freestyling off the head because I am horrible at reading. And it's funny. For the 8 years that Obama was in office, they were talking about him reading off the teleprompters. Oh, I guess I would not be able to be president then because, yeah, reading off the teleprompters isn't going to work for me either. Alright, so let's get back to the question. Even though Cersei put Tommen's death aside, does his suicide leave her with ruined pride? Is that what unlocked her true hate inside? No, she was a hateful woman before that. She was absolutely a hateful woman before that. And this was just the thing, you know, for the show version of Cersei at least. It was like, all right, she knew she was a terrible person, but she was hoping that having her children would kind of quell some of those tendencies to be so evil. And now that it's like, okay, I don't have the kids to worry about, it's like, all right, well, cool. You know, now that I don't have any kids to even think about, I'm just going to be as evil as I possibly can. And so that's the deal with Cersei and her evil and hatred. All right, way off topic. Radio asks, will Gendry be the one to kill Melisandre? Probably not. Oh, shout out to DJ. Have a good night, sir. Yeah, probably not. Because you know Arya, she was on Arya's list. I mean, Arya doesn't seem to have a list in the show anymore, other than Cersei. Uh, the hell was still on her list in the show? Like Cersei, Cersei the Mountain. Yeah, maybe Cersei in the Mountain. I don't even know if she has a list anymore, other than Cersei. But you know, um, Melisandre did say that the two of them would meet again. But then again, like I know it would make sense, right? It would make perfect sense for her to be the one to kill her based off of the fact that Melisandre said we will meet again. But this is D&D we're talking about, you know, and D&D does stuff sometimes where it's like set up and no payoff. So, yeah. Um yeah, we'll just have to forego that one for right now. Yeah, so I don't know. That would be ridiculous if they had Gendry killer. Yeah, I don't know. All right, Ricky Hunt asks, who is more friend zoned, Jorah, Baelish, or John Con? Um, well, see, here's the thing. John Connington never made any advances on Rhaegar that we know of. So we can't really put him in the friend zone category because he never shot his shot. Like, friend zoned, at least my interpretation of what friend zone is that you shoot your shot and the person who is the target of your affections is like, oh nah, we're such good friends. You're my friend. Let's not do that. It would mess up the friendship. Listen, I think it's happened to everyone that I can recall. I think it's happened. It happened to me twice. Twice, yeah, like once when I was like 19. And then maybe once again. No, you know what? No, that I can think of. No, once when I was 19, I got friend zoned, and it was one of those things where it was like, yeah, this was a goddamn waste. All right, doses. Yo, yeah, man. That was a dark period too, because like my best friend had just died, and I didn't get the chance to go to his funeral or anything, and yeah, so I was super rebel at that time. There was a girl I knew from high school. She actually knew my best friend. We all went to high school together, and she was one of the few people I hung out with after high school. We go out every weekend almost, and she hit me with the, oh nah, we're such good friends, and I was like, no, we not. Dose. I ain't talked to her since. And I'll be honest with you, before this conversation, I haven't even thought about her. I haven't thought about her in almost 20 years. And I don't miss it. But alright, so John Con never made his intentions known. So he really couldn't have been friend zoned on that account. Baelish couldn't even, Baelish wasn't friend zoned because Baelish outright got rejected to the point where Catelyn was like, yo, I don't even want to be friends with you. We done. She hit him with the double peace sign and was like, bang. And then she dabbed on him and went to go bounce with Brandon. So nah. Like, Baelish isn't friend zone. Now he could the thing about it is Baelish is way too vindictive to ever allow himself to be friend zoned. He's the dude that is like, oh, okay, you gonna friend zone me, I'm putting something in your coffee, you ain't never gonna have children. You might have been able to have children if they were with me, but he's the dude that if I can't have you, nobody can. So he won't allow himself to be friend zoned. Jorah, on the other hand, Sir Jorah Mormont of Bear Island, your man is the king of the friend zone. I don't know if I've ever seen anyone friend zone that hard in real life. I mean, it's to the point where, she didn't kick this dude and like dude done become a slave and still want to get back with her. How do you become a slave and still talking about, oh nah, but I want to try to get back with this girl who has utterly rejected me, like hard, super hard body. Nah, man, yo, listen, he is friend zone god. Like he goes, past being king of the friend zone. He is god of the friend zone. Yo, Jorah Jorah getting put into the friend zone created a big bang that ultimately sparked an alternate reality, and they just don't even know about it yet. Like, that's how hard he got friend zoned. Alright, when Debo breaks down the door, asks, did Loras die happy knowing he shagged the stag? Oh my god. Wow. I mean, I guess. Yeah, I guess. Oh my god. Ah, that's hilarious. No, you shagged the stag. Yo, wow. I mean, nah, man, cause listen, if you talking about, well, yeah, cause he's not dead in the books that we know of. I bet you it's a ploy right now, but yeah, so nah, I mean, listen, dude was ultra depressed, look, cause he couldn't really make moves on anybody in the open, and the one dude that he did make moves on got him locked up, got his sister locked up. He had to give up all of his lands, titles. He had to walk the earth supposedly as like as a religious zealot and get a star carved in his face. I mean, nah, man, he didn't die happy. that man died broken. He was done for. Remember, he told his sister, yo, just do whatever you gotta do to make this stop. Whatever needs to be done, please make this stop. So nah. Um, Even though he did shag a stag, nah, Loras did not die happy. No way, no how. Alright, so Ricky asks, is Melisandre even mortal? She is old as hell, doesn't eat or sleep. Um that is a good observation. I wouldn't man. I mean, I think she's mortal in the sense that she can die, but she's not mortal in the sense of needing the things that we need to survive. Obviously, whatever magic she's using is the thing that is sustaining her. Um, but yeah, I don't think she's immortal. I think she can die, so she's mortal in the sense of can die, but not mortal in the sense of the things that most human beings need to survive. She needs. So we'll see. All right, next up from when Debo breaks down the door, will John take his kinship with Dany to be a crucial gripe, or will he just keep giving her the pipe? Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Man, yo, he probably, he probably gonna be freaked out when he finds out. Um, yeah, he's probably gonna be freaked out. Yo, cause I would be. Like, yo, imagine you got a woman or a man or whatever, whoever it is you're attracted to. You think they're hot, you're into them. Y'all done went through having this adversarial relationship, and then it winds up turning into to something truly momentous, and only to find out at some point that you have been sleeping with a super close relative, an aunt or an uncle that you previously did not know, or nephew or niece that you had no idea was related to. Yo, like, hell, I mean, and then just with the way that John was raised, yo, he would be, yo, John is going to be done for. Now, for Daenerys, yeah, she's raised on the whole Targaryen deal of them wedding brother to sister, aunt to nephew, etc., etc. So for her, you know, she might be shocked to find out that he's a Targaryen, but it's obviously not gonna bother her in the same manner. But yeah, but I think, but for John, I'd be like, holy like what? No, no. Oh man. Um. Let's see. Alicia Kingston saying Starks married their family too. Yeah, but it wasn't that close. Like, yeah, Rickard Stark. Uh, you know, he married his cousin or whatever. Which it may have been like a second cousin or something. Like, I don't know, because they don't have like the full genealogy on that. And saying Tywin did the same thing with Joanna. Yeah, I mean, look, in it's like if you go back in medieval times, they really like, what was considered incest at that time. What was only considered incest is if you had the same mother and father. It was considered incest. If you had the same father but different mothers, depending on where you were, it's not for everywhere, but depending on where you were, it wasn't considered incest. If you had the same father but different mothers, depending on what country you were in, what time period it was, that wasn't considered incest. Cousins at for a certain period of time wasn't considered incest. And so the whole supposed kind of scientific reason for that, or why it wasn't, is because you'd have less chance of the children having birth defects if it's cousins, and also if like the if it was different mothers, like having the same mother. If the two siblings had the same mother, it wound up having it was closer to the kids having genetic defects versus if they had the same father but different mothers. Now, yeah, you'd still have defects or whatever, but it was less likely. But then after a while, it was just kind of like, this is still, not still too close. And then they pushed it off to first cousins. And then it was like, too close. Then it became, second cousins. They're not still too close. And now I think legally it's like up to like third or maybe fourth cousins in a lot of places. And either way, I'm just like, look, you know what? How about let's not do that? So, nah, we're good. Oh man. All right, folks, you guys got me for over 2 hours here. Well, for you guys, I don't know, it may be like just 2 hours because I gotta adjust for the couple of minutes grace period and all that good stuff. And plus, you guys already know, look, it's Thursday night. There's always paperwork to be done. All right. Yeah. So, folks, I'm going to call it a wrap for tonight. I absolutely enjoyed my time with you as always. I do thank you for being here. Super chat is off, so we do not have to worry about that debacle anymore. Like I said, IC Spots and Patty N, and I think Leslie Powell, I probably gotta hit you up too. YouTube with their, super chat, but unless you get 1,000,000 views, you get zero money. Yeah, man. Like I said, I'm gonna have to find out who it was that has I have to find out exactly who it was that hit me up with super chats, and I want to make sure you guys get your money back. All right, even if it's got to come out of my own pocket. So I'm gonna dig through this as much as I possibly can because I do believe, because I definitely know IC Spots and Patty N, and I think possibly Leslie Powell. All right. So yeah, look, you guys already know the deal. I will see you guys next week. I'm not even sure what character I'm doing. Who knows? Maybe I'll keep it in the Baratheon family. All right. Anyway, thank you to everybody who has checked me out tonight live. Thank you to everybody who will check this out later. Tomorrow, Friday, damn it, Friday, January 19th, 8 p.m. Hype Swatch channel, another reread. This is the January one. We are going to be doing a Ghost in Winterfell. Me, Jerry the Targaryen Steamboat, James Michelle, Sir L.T. Giles. Oh, and let's see. Alicia Kingston threw up. What is this? Misha Houston is doing a live chat with Jen of House Wolverton and Sarah Charles. So yeah, for those of you who are there now, check out the link in the chat room. I'm not selfish. I'm out of here anyway. Well, I'm gonna tell them no, you can't promote. All right. Super last question from when Debo breaks down the door before I bounce. Will Euron take a glance at the chance to get in Cersei's pants, or will he denounce his account and simply bounce? I think he is going to he's going to take a chance, and Cersei turns him down. He's like, all right, then he gonna hit her with the deuces and maybe hit her with an arrow or something like that. I don't know, but yeah, Euron is gonna try. He gonna shoot his shot. He gonna get shot down. That's what it is. We already know what Cersei's deal is. All right. Anyway, yeah, I will see you guys next week, as always. And for the rest, you already know the deal. Rate, comment, subscribe, share, tell your friends, and come back for more. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter. See the name right there. Assault the Hide, Assault King. Yeah. That has been my time, and this is Don Willie saying Valado Iris. And for you, Debo, got a dab on him. Oh, and we out.